Hey guys, welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and Horoscopes. Today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys born in the year of the sheep, or the goat if you prefer. So welcome back all my sheepy friends and all my goat guys, I guess. I don't know. So here we are again for another reading, and you're probably wondering to yourself, why is it taking so long for the sheep reading to come out when it's supposed to be every week? Well, I shall tell you why. It is because I've decided that instead of putting it on Patreon and doing a 9-card spread on Patreon, which is restrictive, which not only restricts other people from enjoying it or watching it, it also restricts me in my evolution and growth with the readings. I want to explore more into this, so I thought a good idea would be to just do the 9-card reading for everybody. And if you want to support me, you can follow that Patreon link. You can join up with it. You won't get anything on Patreon, but it just shows support for the channel, support for me, support for the readings, but it also is something that I want to pursue. So I want to design and create my own deck of Chinese Zodiac cards, which is a financial cost I feel might be better off being made by the Chinese Zodiac channel than by me personally, because that would tell me there is a demand or a want for it, because I would design these cards and then I would obviously have them to purchase or, you know, available. So that's part of why I've decided to do the 9-card spread. Another reason I thought about doing it is because I wanted to go from weekly readings to monthly readings, but I wanted to offer more than just the 3 cards. So I figured once a month, 9 cards, that would make up for it, because I may only do 1 reading for the sheep, but I was doing 12 readings because I have to do readings for everybody, and therefore every week I'm doing 12 readings. I'm going to have to still do 12 readings a month, but it's spread out a lot easier and it's a lot better. Now this video will obviously be longer than the future videos will be, because I'm explaining, I'm catching up, I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, etc, etc. So they won't be as long as this video in the future, and I can't guarantee what days they will be. I'm hopefully trying to do it monthly, so it will balance itself out. So the sheep readings will be somewhere like after the 20th of June, somewhere along those lines. So we'll balance it out eventually where it will be spread across the month. And it will be 9 cards, not 3. My best advice would be to hit that subscribe button and get the little bell on, and that way you will get a notification when a video comes up. I have decided also that with doing the 9-card spread readings, I can't just do 9 cards. I'm going to stick to the same principle of the Patreon idea, which is where we will offer more. So the first 3 will be a general reading, the second 3 will be, or the second reading will be a relationship, romantic, relationship-y, typey sort of reading, and the third reading, still 3 cards, would be finance, money, career, that kind of thing. It breaks it down a bit. It kind of makes it more specific to different aspects of our life, you know, or what we go through and what we deem as a worry or something that we may want advice on, or a message, if there's any out there, to come on through. So that's kind of my intent with this. It's the same principle as before. 3 cards, we're going to shuffle them up basically with our eyes closed. I'm going to close those eyes, I'm going to shuffle these up, and when I make my own cards, I'm definitely not going to have the black and white on the bit you can see if I choose to have the positive and negative, because it will just make shuffling so much easier. But we're going to close our eyes, and this is just going to be a general one, very much like the weekly ones we are used to, and we're going to move them around, and we're going to stop about, let's say, oh, I'm trying to get them in there. We're going to take that one from the bottom, we're going to take that one from the middle, we're going to take that one from the top, just like normal, just like always. And then we're going to get our general reading, which we've got negative and 2 positives there. Same principle. Black isn't always an attack, white isn't always all right. It all depends on the compatibility, because we're very individualistic and unique like that. These cards are only read this way on here at this channel, nowhere else. So these readings are basically one of a kind. We're going to then shuffle them up again. This is where it gets fun, because now we get to focus our attention and intention on romance, on relationships, on that kind of love area of our lives. So let's move these all around, still with the eyes closed, still with the same old shuffle. We're going to stop when it feels about right, and we're going to stop about there, and we're going to take that one from the bottom, we're going to take that one from the middle, we're going to take that one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we got the two blacks there in the negative, and we got that one positive. Again, same principle. Black isn't always an attack, white isn't always all right. We're going to see about that in a minute when we get over to that reading. And just before we start the readings, we're going to do it one more time. We're going to shuffle these three, these remaining cards up until we get the final three, except this time we're going to put that idea and intention that we want to know a little bit more about the financial side of things, about the little things when it comes to money, jobs, careers, etc. So we're just going to shuffle these around, we're going to move them all about, and then we're going to stop about there. We're going to take that one from the bottom, we're going to take that one from the middle, we're going to take that one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we've got three whites then. So we've got those three positives. Again, white isn't always all right, black isn't always an attack. It all depends on the compatibility as we flip the cards. So we're going to move these white ones down here. This last reading down first. Then we're going to move the second reading down here. And then we're going to move this one into center stage. Let's see what we've got, shall we, as we flip these over. We're going to start with the ox. Not a great card for sheep people. I'm going to be completely honest with you, my goat friends. The ox is a card that you really don't necessarily want, and when it's in the negative like that, it's not a great start. But the thing with this is it actually is, because we're phasing through. So this is where we were. This is where we're going to end up. So that ox is something we're leaving behind. But you might be leaving it behind with a bit of resentment, with a bit of animosity, with a little bit of a grudge. You're holding a grudge on this, perhaps. I think maybe there was a challenge somewhere, or there was a lack of communication somewhere. I think there's a conflict here that you've potentially walked away from, or you've realised there was a conflict, and you've kind of, instead of keep fighting the losing battle, you've decided to walk away with your head held high to fight another day. You're going away with a bit of grace, with a little bit of, decorum here. You've made a decision. You've decided that's the best way to do it. You're just gonna wash your hands of the whole ordeal for your own sake, for your own mental health, for your own kind of integrity almost. Miscommunication is going to be the key here. There's going to be a lot of stuff where you're just agitated that this person can't just talk about it, or they can't just come and be direct about it, or why can't they just tell me about this, or speak to me, or just get back in contact with me, or something. It's going to drive you crazy, or it has driven you crazy, but you've come to realize that patience is probably not the best approach here, to sit around and wait. It might just be worth getting on and just doing something about it yourself. Imagine waiting for a bus and the bus is late, and you sit there for a while waiting for the bus, and you're thinking, I could sit here patiently and I could keep waiting for this bus that's late, that may not even come, or I could just start walking. And if I actually walk, I could actually get there before the bus even turns up. And you're kind of trying to make a plan of productivity or progress, rather than, again, like I say, fighting this losing battle. We have got the dog card coming in here, which is a better card. It doesn't necessarily work very well with that ox, though. The dog and the ox, again, they can be okay together. But in your example, what we've got here is that defensiveness. That kind of, it's a defense. That's what this is. This is a defense of, you've left the wild animal behind you in the wilderness, but now you're back in your little homestead. You've got to defend yourself and put up a picket fence, or some kind of boundary between you and that wildness almost. And that's what this kind of is. Your emotional attachment and animosities towards what you're leaving behind has to stay there, left behind. You need to move forward from it. And that's only going to happen if you set boundaries. And that's what that dog is trying to help you do, is set those boundaries. Like I said, the dog and the sheep, they're quite good. They're quite good together. There's no real animosities there. Not really. Because they both have that goodwill sense of almost like wanting to do the right thing and be good people, or do the best that they can do. And you're going to come away from conflict. And again, that's what this is. You're going on the defense because you don't want to be put into a place of attack. You don't want to be on the attack. You don't want to be dragged into this conflict. You don't want to be pulled into it and have to deal with it when it's not necessary. Like I said, you're trying to keep your head held high. So you've got to set boundaries. That dog is also a communicator. So you're searching for communication, or at least some sort of circumstance or situation where communication is actually easy rather than the uphill struggle that you've been facing. Maybe it's something where you're looking for a mediator. Maybe the problem is still there and it's not going to go away, but you're looking for a mediator. You're looking for advice. You're looking for somebody that can help break it down for you. You're looking for answers, but you're still in that defensive place. You're still in a place of trying to figure it all out. That's kind of where the communication comes in, because you need to communicate about it and talk about it and be a bit more like Sherlock Holmes with it, to investigate it rather than walk away completely and shut it out. You can't just leave it and let it go. There will be answers that you need to find in order for you to move forward from this, but you can't go back into it to get those answers. So these answers may be a bit more of a, I suppose, challenge to find. It'll be more of a challenge to actually get there than it could have been before. But going back is definitely not an option. I don't think going back is in the cards here. I think we're on the defensive. That ox is wanting to pursue you in a very slow way, but now you're adamant that things are changing and things are going in a different direction now because you've made that decision. It's almost like you're on a mission to not only prove that you can do it faster than the bus can get there, but now it's changing your whole perspective of things. In future, why bother waiting for the bus at all when you know that you can walk it quicker? And that will then set the precedence for that. That will then set the standard. Got the rooster coming in here, the white rooster. Now, roosters and sheep, not necessarily a bad pair of, pair when they come together, not a bad compatibility, not overly, but it's showing that you are going to need some discipline here. You are going to need to work hard at this, whatever this is. Like, walking is definitely a lot harder than taking the bus, but if you keep going with this, the gains you get will be better. That rooster represents cost, and it doesn't always mean financial. And in this general sense, it could cost you anything, or it could give you anything. And I think this is what this is here now, is that it will give you something in return. There'll be something that you can take from this. There is something that you'll get back from this. There is something that you can make work with this. The rooster is very sort of disciplined and organized, and this is where you need to step up. There's not a great communication between the sheep and the rooster either. So again, it's showing you that you need to put that effort in, or it will come at a cost. Communication seems to be the key. Communication seems to be something that we're lacking. It seems to be something that's being neglected or overlooked. Something that doesn't necessarily bode well for those that aren't considering communication to be a good superpower or a good thing, you know. Sometimes it's like, well, why talk about it? It's not going to fix anything. But it could. Talking about things could get you in the right place at the right time to get things done. So it does help. Not talking about anything at all and just rushing into things, that can lead to problems. Miscommunication could cause a lot more issues for you if you allow it to. If you allow that. Discipline is the way forward here, to stay on track. Some sort of regimentation or routine is good, but that will bring out the worst in your personality. Unfortunately, it will bring out the worst in your personality because you're not necessarily designed for regimentation. You're not really designed for organization. You're not really designed to be in this Spartan kind of approach to life. Unfortunately, there is, costs on both sides here. It's going to cost you one way, it's going to cost you another. It's entirely up to you which path you take, but we need to communicate to understand the consequences of what could happen with either way that you go. And that's something that you definitely need to consider, is the consequences of your actions. Sometimes being patient is the best approach. Other times, just getting things done and doing it is the best approach. It's weighing up those pros and cons. And we'll find out how you get on with that next time when we come back and do another general reading for you guys born in the year of the sheep. So we're going to move those up. And then we're going to bring in these cards, which are your sort of romantic aspect, your relationship cards. We've got 2 negatives and a white there. And as I've said before, and it stays the same for these cards, black isn't always all right. White isn't always, black isn't always an attack. White isn't always all right. It's exactly the same. We're going to flip them over. We're going to see what compatibility we've got. And we're going to try and associate it with relationships, love, and that aspect. But of course, I know that obviously some people aren't going to be in a relationship. They're going to be single. But I try my best to try and keep it in a neutral place, whereas there's some understanding on both sides of that fence. Some will relate this to their relationships, marriages, and whatnot, and others will relate this maybe to their single aspect, or their single or choice to be single. Let's see what we've got, shall we? The black dragon. The black dragon coming in. Now, the dragon and the sheep, that's not necessarily a bad compatibility. They can get on. They have a very acceptable kind of relationship here. But I feel like in the relationship or within relationships, it is the unreasonable demands and expectations of yourself that could be the reason for that kind of lack of return, or what you're actually trying to get from the relationship. If you're not moving forward with it, if it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, if it doesn't seem to be working, it could be a case of that it's clockwork, and the clockwork needs to be turned up, you know, like a little clockwork toy. You need to twist the clockwork. You've got to wind it up. There's always something to do in a relationship. There's always something to do to keep it afloat, because it's a relationship, and that ship is crewed by 2 people. And those 2 people need to work together in order for the smooth sailing of that ship. Otherwise, you are going to hit rough and troubled waters. And once you're in those troubled waters, there is a chance that you could sink. And if you do sink, that's the end of that relationship. So there's always stuff to do. And it looks as if like we're not focusing on that so much. We're not looking at it that way so much. We're thinking the ship's floating. What's wrong? What's wrong? It's afloat. But with no coordination, with no organization, with no communication, with no real kind of direction of where this ship is headed, you can't just let it float. You can't just let it float in the sea of endlessness. You need to have some kind of hope or future for this ship. And that black dragon means that there's things to do that aren't getting done. There's things to address that need to be addressed. Now, dragons are very passionate signs. They're very kind of forward with their approach to relationships. And we're seeing it in the negative, where it's not being brought forward. Something's not being brought to the surface. Something's not necessarily being considered. We're ignoring it, or we just don't think it's important enough, which is going to lead to conflict and animosity. And it is going to start to make you feel, I suppose, in some ways, like there are unreasonable kind of expectations from other people, when really your own expectations of things could be the problem. It's like the whole bus metaphor, where you could sit there and wait for the bus and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Or you could do something. It's the same in a relationship. You can sit there waiting for things to get better, or you could do something about it. And that's not to say things are in a bad place, but we're definitely seeing some kind of disruption in the relationship kind of situation that you're in. This is a kind of, I want to say, a willingness to not cooperate. It's like you're happy to not cooperate. You're happy to not communicate. You're kind of like happy to stand still and see if effort is put in for you. It's almost like you're waiting for somebody to fight for you, or waiting for somebody to take an approach to make it seem like it's worthwhile, or to make the relationship look as if it's going somewhere. But there's no real reason why you can't do that and put in some effort here, there, and and start the ball rolling almost. Even if you've been in that relationship for 20 years, if you're not doing anything to maintain that relationship, eventually it will start to leak, and water may drip in very, very, very slowly, and it may start to, unnoticeably sink that ship. But the fact that it's not been noticed, that's on you. That's definitely a you problem. That's now an issue that you now need to approach. It's now a you, or it will be. There's only 2 people on that ship. So who's going to save the boat? If you're expecting them to do it, you're both going to sink. At least if you do it, yeah, okay, you've had to put in the effort, but no one's sinking. And there you are. Because you are a compassionate person. You are empathic. You are sympathetic. You do care. You're considerate. We're looking at that goat card coming in there, that sheep as a representation of that. Don't turn yourself cold or turn yourself off to these things. These things are important to you. And if they are that important to you, you need to be willing to focus on them and make them work, and to get to a point where the relationship is back in a stable place. Shutting off that and allowing them to do all the work, or wanting them to do it all, that again, it's unreasonable almost. You give and take in relationships. You give and take, and some days you will be the captain and they will be the first mate. Other days you are the first mate and they are the captain. It just all depends on where your strengths are, and to know your role in any given moment when that relationship presents itself with a challenge or an issue or things like this. Whose strengths are best suited to deal with these problems within that relationship? So you are a very compassionate person, so to shut yourself out, to not communicate, to not want to fix it, is not good. We're seeing that sheep, that goat in a white place. We're seeing it because you need to work together. You need to remember who you are. You need to push through and overcome this, because you both will have similar goals in that relationship. If you can effectively sort of resolve the issues that you've got, you've got to be a team player here. Yes, you can change your mind very quickly. Yes, you have a habit of changing your mind and preferences a lot. But in love and in this respect, having that sheep card there is just a reminder that you took a long time to build something. You don't want it to be neglected or damaged. It took a long time to build that ship. It took a long time to get it on the water and keep it afloat. It's been a long journey. Don't let that just slip away because you feel like you're giving a lot and they're taking a lot and it's not being returned. Sometimes this is just a phase where you are the giver for a while. I mean, if it continues for too long, yes, then maybe there could be an opportunity for you to jump ship. But right now, if they are incapable of steering the ship through the troubled waters, there's only one other person that it can fall back on. And unfortunately, that is you, if you care enough to do that, which I don't think you do. Maybe, again, that black horse is a good card for sheep people incompatibility-wise, but it is saying that things are coming to a slow, steady stop. Things aren't going to be as swift and as easily repairable as they could have been. Things are maybe just beyond damaged now. The horse is part of your soulmate line, though. It is on your soulmate line. It's your soulmate card. So whatever's happening right now is something that you have to go through to gain that experience, that knowledge, that wisdom, to take this from you on your journey. This is fact. You are pushing forward, but you're straying a little bit, and that horse wants to bring you back around, and emotionally it's going to take its toll. And a black horse is a heavy horse, and that's a heavy heart. And that's what this is going to be. Maybe it's the realization that the relationship that you are in is not a relationship that you want to be in, or maybe it can't be fixed, but your own attachment to it and your own sort of coldness to it has made you oblivious to that, so you're just hanging on in there. Whereas if you were a bit more empathic or sympathetic with your approach. At least you would be able to say it's better for both of us if we both go our own separate ways and just get in little lifeboats now and avoid the ship sinking with us on it. Maybe something is come to an end. And I think this is some sort of validation, I think, with what you're maybe going through with, can I keep making this work? Can I keep giving? Can I keep giving? I don't think that horse is going to allow you to. And I think if you stop giving, that's when the relationship will fall apart. So I think maybe right now, if you're willing to put the effort in, yes, this phase could come to an end of give, and it could turn around in future. But I think you're just getting to the point where it's just not enough anymore. But we'll find out, I guess, next time when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the sheep. We are now going to move on to the final part of the readings, which is the financial aspect of things, which is these 3 cards here, which are in the positive, which is a great start. But as always, white isn't always all right. The black isn't always an attack. It does all depend on the compatibility of those cards when we flip them over, of course, as always. So let's see what we've got first. We've got the monkey coming in. Things are getting done. This is good. And you're pursuing things that you care about, which is good. You're invested in this, which is good. And maybe this is why the relationship side of things is becoming such a burden, because you want to focus on kind of pursuing what makes you happy. And if you can turn that into a job, if you can turn that into, you know, finding a job that you love doing, or you know, being in a position that you prefer, you're going to do that rather than focus on the relationship side of things. Sheep and monkeys, they don't have a great compatibility. They don't have a deep understanding of each other or how each other works. So again, not a great card in the compatibility side of things, but it is still in the positive. I think right now, your almost diplomatic kind of sensitivity or empathic approach to things is definitely going to help you in this situation where you're going to be emotionally invested, and it's going to be something that's almost selfish, you know, for you. And that's not a bad thing. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for you, which means that relationship could be seen again as a hindrance. If you're putting a lot of time in at what you're doing and what you love in that career or that job, it could be seen as you neglecting that relationship, and that's why the other person is retaliating in such a way. But again, they want you to give, but you're already giving so much. That monkey is helping you solve this problem by trying to take away the complaints that you could unnecessarily have in other aspects. So as long as you focus on work, and as long as you're focusing on doing in that respect, you don't necessarily need to focus about anything in a general sense or in a romantic sense, because financially or career-wise, that's where your focus is, because that's what you have chosen to do. That's your self-approach. That's your decision for you to get something back for you. Got another doer coming in here. This is looking good. The white rat coming in to accompany that white monkey. So the white rat and the white monkey, they are doers. They're doing. You're doing, which is good. You're focusing on yourself, which is good. And you're focusing on family, which is good, because you're not taking on all these challenges and neglecting those that matter to you. The relationship isn't family. Family is different. And that rat represents family. So you're trying to, I guess, in some ways, save up pennies, save up some money, put some money to one side. Everything you do, it's for your family. It's not for love. It's for family. And for you, which is, again, something that's going to cause problems with a relationship, especially if that relationship is new and they don't necessarily understand how you work and how your approach to your family is. Now, the sheep and the rat, they don't have much in common. They're very much like the monkey and the sheep in this respect. So the sheep and the rat, not great. The rat is not sympathetic. It's not. The rat is not going to be okay with the unnecessary spendings or the self-indulgence of a sheep person. But this right now is good because you're not seeing it this way. You're seeing it as there are challenges ahead. You are preparing yourself for that. The way you're preparing yourself for that is to get your work done, to stand your ground with that, to put your focus in that, and to prepare for that as we move forward. The monkey and the rat here may not be your greatest compatibility, and they may not be your bestest of friends, but right now that energy is working towards getting stuff done in the respect of focusing all your attention on your own gains. It's like you're giving, and to replace what you've given, you've then got to work on getting that back. And I think this may be why the relationship is taking its toll. This is probably why work is a bit of a holiday almost, or a retreat. It's like you go into that place, or you focus on that workplace, or in a job mindset, so you don't have to focus on the emotional side of things and the emotional strains that are coming with it. And if you can put your attention to work and have a reason for, well, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for my kids, I'm doing this for my mum, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing this for those I really care about, the people that are there for me, I'm going to get it done for them. It doesn't really matter how bad a relationship is, because it's almost like your focus isn't even on that ship. You're not on that ship. You're watching it from the shore. And again, depending on how you feel about it, it could be time just to let it go, to pursue this kind of approach to life, or that more focus on career and working, so that you can achieve what you want to achieve for you, not for the relationship, not for the marriage, not for the boyfriend, girlfriend, or partner. You're not going to do it for them. For all you know, that could be temporary. But your kids will still be your kids, you know? Your brother, your sister, your mum, you know, your family, they're still going to be your family. You are still going to be you. So you're going to focus on that a lot more. And that's going to be that driving force for your career, for working. It's going to give you more opportunity as we move forward. And there it is. Boom. The validation of that entire career reading, where I was thinking you were getting a little bit outnumbered here with the compatibility of cards, but the pig there coming in, that's one of your strongest allies. And in this sense, it's great because it's a catalyst moment, which is slow. Things are going to be hard, emotional, painful, uphill struggle, but it's going to be done slowly. It's not ripping the band-aid off, it's taking it off with care. And this is good. It's going to provide a good foundation for something that lasts. So yeah, okay, you may have started a new job, you may have started a new position, you may have started more hours, you may have started to put more focus into work, and you may think, is this really going to be worth it? And I think it is. I think it's going to pay off for you. There's long-term gains between the pig and the sheep. You do need to exercise some patience and some restraint, but it will come a lot easier for you than the other aspects of what you're going through right now. Your relationship is going to be, or the lack of a relationship is probably going to be the least of your worries. Whether you're in a relationship or not, whether you'll leave in that relationship or you don't, doesn't matter. It's the least of your worries. What you're focusing on right now, which is where your head is at, is on career, money, motivated by family and yourself, which is a great way to move forward. As I said, that ox there wasn't the greatest starting card, but it was great to have at the start, because we're leaving that behind. Ending on the pig means that we've gone from complete opposite conflict card all the way to something that's really compatible with you as we move forward. So the ox here, that stubbornness of the ox in the general reading, has no influence on that romantic aspect or on the career aspect. You are moving forward in one. You're not necessarily fussed about the other. Generally, you are looking at moving forward and putting up boundaries in order to prevent this from happening again in the future. Of course, if you are watching this because you have a friend or a loved one who is a sheep person, and they are maybe in a relationship with you, don't give until they've run out of things to give. My advice to anybody that is in a relationship of any sorts with a sheep person right now is that they are getting to the end of their tether with give, and you need to return something. You need to put something back, because yes, they are going to focus on work. Yes, they are focusing on what they want to do, but they're not doing it to impress you. They're not doing it to help you. They're not doing it in any regards for you whatsoever. It's for them. for you to be a part of this, you need to prove yourself. So just consider that one. My next reading will be for those born in the year of the monkey. So if you do have anybody in the year of the monkey that you want to check out, that will be next. My advice would be hit that subscribe button because I can't guarantee when it will be. I want to catch up with all of the May readings before the end of the week so we can hit June with a fresh slate. But I can't guarantee that. So hitting subscribe is the best advice that I can give. If you have enjoyed it, give us a like, maybe leave a comment, and I will see you next time when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the sheep, or the goat if you prefer. Thank you for watching, guys. I will catch you next time. Love and peace.